Alright guys, sorry about the delay there. Had to get something done before we started. Anyways, this is your host, ID Jester. Thank you so much for joining me. So tonight, we've been running some John Tiller Panzer Battle missions on my channel recently, and there's been some questions about the Panzer Campaign series. So I thought tonight we would look at the Panzer Campaign series, talk about it a little bit, talk about its evolution and its development, and then show you some gameplay so you guys can think and see for yourselves whether or not it's something that you might like. So obviously we're talking about John Tiller software here. So you can go to the johntillersoftware.com page. And one of the newest things they have is some updates to some of their original Panzer Campaign games. So if we actually look at the Panzer Campaigns, there's, I think, like 19 different games in the series that were released from 2004 to 2015. There's Moscow, Kharkov, Budapest, Minsk, Stalingrad, Moscow, Riev, Kursk, Korsun, Kharkov, Smolensk. That's just on the Eastern Front. Of course, the Western Front, they have Operation Sea Lion, France, 1940, Market Garden, 44, Bulge, 44, Normandy, 44. And, of course, Mediterranean, Tunisia, 43, Sorna, 43, El Alamein, 42, Sicily, 43, and Tobruk, 41. So I don't know how many that was total, but there is quite a few in this series. Just recently, I noticed, actually a couple months ago, that they were working on updates to those games. Hey, good night to you there, Donnie. Glad to have you. Great, Minsk 41. Yep. So they, so I noticed a couple months ago that they are actually updating their Panzer Campaign games with new graphics, new sound, new maps, and everything. And the fine folks over here at Wargame Design Studio have taken upon themselves this task of updating. And you can see some of their games they actually have here. Normandy, obviously, we've been playing some Normandy here. Hope everything's well for you tonight there. And we've been playing some Kursk battles as well. These are from the Panzer Battle system. So if you're not familiar with John Tiller products, basically squad battles, we're talking about individual counters being between 8 to 10 to 12 guys, each individual counter being one vehicle or gun. Panzer battles is a little bit more zoomed out. Each counter represents about 20 to 50 guys and a handful of vehicles or guns, maybe 2 to 8. And then when you're talking about Panzer Campaign series, you're talking about a little bit more zoomed out, where each counter represents several hundred guys, and each counter represents a couple dozen vehicles and guns. And of course, each of these are different time scales as well, and different. Each hex represents a different amount of space. So in Panzer battles, you're talking about 250 meter hexes, and let's see if it actually tells us. Yeah, 250 meter hexes, and they're mostly platoon level. And doesn't actually tell us the time frame on them. Panzer Campaigns, so we're talking 1 kilometer hexes, and each turn represents about 2 hours worth of time. Hey Tony, what's going on, man? Glad to have you aboard, Tony. How's everything going with yourself? Good to have you. So yeah, they've so each of these are different scale. We've played some of the Panzer battles. Now we're looking at the Panzer campaigns. Um, as I mentioned, these scales are 1 kilometer in hexes and 2 hours in game time. If we actually look at my John Tiller folder here, you'll see I've got quite a few different games. I've got the Battle for Kursk, Normandy, the campaign 1814. I got the First World War, which is a squad level game. I've got the demo that I'm going to be showing you guys here in a little bit. I've got the Midway, the Panzer Battles demo, and Tunisia 43. So I actually own one of the campaign games. So I'm actually going to load that up for you guys. So I bought this game probably maybe, oh, I don't know, several years ago. It's been a while. And like all John Tiller games, it comes with just a slew of awesome scenarios. Anything from really, really small to medium sized to really, really big. We can see let's see, we got 25 turns, we got 8 turns, we got 71 turns, we got 32 turns, got 72 turns there, we got 64 turns, 40 turns. I'm just going to end up loading one of these. 16 turns, 52 turns. Yeah, let's just take a look at this map. And we'll zoom in here and take a look at it. Once it loads, sometimes it does take a little bit of a while for the game to load. So one of the really, really awesome things about this gaming system, and I'm actually going to turn the background sounds off so that way they're not distracting you. So one of the really good things about the John Tiller games is they're very detailed with huge maps. As you can see here, I'm just scrolling through the map here just to kind of give you guys a broad overview of what kind of map we're dealing with here. Huge, massive maps with tons and tons of good detail, lots of different playable scenarios. You can see this is basically the Tunisia map. If I zoom way out, you can see kind of a broader overview of what this scenario is like. So, obviously lots of different counters. Hey, Tony's good. That's good to hear. If I don't see you before the holidays here, Tony and Dana, you guys have a great holiday. I just wanted to stop and let you guys know that. Hope you guys have a good holidays anyways. If I don't see you or talk to you guys before that. So yeah, I mean, all kinds of, we've had scenarios that are really, really small as well. But the good thing about them is they're really, really detailed information. They give you help files to get in the system here. If I just go in and you can see there's a general help file, there's a user manual, there's a campaign notes, which are really, really detailed information about the Panzer campaign, or the Panzer campaign, in this case Tunisia, talks all about the history about it and what the forces were doing and the goals of each side and the important events that happened, and just slew and slew. You can see this document's 21 pages in itself. A lot of good history on the battles, the different units that were there. Just to let you know what's going on in this battle and give you some nice information. Here's looks like some kind of a like a document that they had scanned in and had access to, and talk about all the really important things and give you links to different places that you can learn more about the battle. So it's not just a computer game. It's actually it's going to give you some information about the battles, about the units, about the what was going on, and just to kind of prepare you for the battles. And so they are really in depth and really well designed and well, with lots of scenarios, lots of replayability, lots of options in your options menus. You can see here we've got NATO counters, we've got different zoom levels, all that. The only really downside, and it's been kind of a thing with John Tiller for a while, has been the graphics have just not been up to snuff. Now, we're talking about a war game here. You don't need to have all fancy dancy 3D graphics and state of the art. We're talking about maps and counters here. You don't need to have awesome, but I mean sometimes if you look at the maps, especially in the 2D mode here, if I can zoom to it right. Is this what is this? Is this oh, that's brush, and this is something else, and this is broken terrain, and then this is I don't know something else, trees, and it's just really hard to really kind of tell what are these? Are these a field? Are these buildings or whatever? So the graphics have been a little outdated. Let's just put it that way. They look the gaming system and everything's been old. And as we mentioned in the beginning of this, one of the huge undertakings that Wargame Design Studio is doing, besides creating the new Panzer Battle 3 game, which hopefully will come out soon, is they're going to be updating all of the old Panzer Campaign games into what they're considering called the Gold Edition. So let's take a look at one of these gold editions, and basically look at Smolensk 41 here. Go to the products page. So you can see here, detailed information about what this game is like, and lots of screenshots. 30 scenarios, 10 operational situations, hypothetical scenarios. And then basically the scale of the game, 1 kilometer per hex, 2 hours per time. Scenario editors, order battle scenario editors, so you can create your own scenarios. You can play against opponents with play by email or LAN and internet live play. But here's the kind of the important thing that I'm really interested in is the new gold edition features, and this is really making me excited about this series once again. It's going to add an additional 16 new scenarios from Volcano Man, giving it a total of 46 total scenarios. If you're not familiar with John Tiller's games, Volcano Man has been an avid supporter and mod maker for all of his different games for many years. And it looks, I don't know the exact details or whatever, but it looks like they've taken him under their wing and taking some of his scenarios and including them in the main game, which is awesome because he's like a number one man when we're talking about anything to do with modifications to the John Tiller games. Volcano Man is kind of known throughout, if you know anything about the John Tiller systems. Anyways, so all of his scenarios, or a bunch of his scenarios, are going to be added as well. A new game map. So they basically have decided to redo the maps from scratch, which is great because as we look back at my version of Tunisia, you can see that the map, although it looks really kind of cool, it's just not as functionally playable as I think it should be. It's just not as detailed and as crisp as it needs to look. So if we look at these and then we look at the updated maps, you will see a heck of a difference here. Let's just click on this one here. Now this is kind of a zoomed out view like I have in this. If I zoom out, you can already see a big difference here, but I can also zoom in a little bit more. And we'll look at other screenshots here to give you guys. Hopefully I didn't close that. Did I close? Oh, I didn't. Okay. Let's look at maybe a more zoomed in mode here. So there you go. Big difference in the maps. You can see much crisper, cleaner map layout. You can see that hexagon's a lot easier than you can when I zoom in to 2D mode here. There we go. Um, it's kind of hard to see where the hexes are and see where the different terrain features are. Yeah, I mean, just a big difference. The map looks so much better. Yes, Stalingrad Gold has been released as well, and Stalingrad is a huge improvement. Yes, totally agree there, Audie Murphy. Yes, totally agree that the maps are just. Well, first of all, I mean, you're talking about. I think they said somewhere that I read it's like 3,600 hexes are the total map size in one of the games. I remember reading that, but you see just a massive, huge difference in the look and the layout. It's just much more eye pleasant. It makes me look at this and I can actually see what's going on. I can see where the hills are. If I look at my map and I turn on, let's make sure I have on, where is it? I think it's under view, map contours. Okay, there's my map contours. I mean, back in the day, maybe that was good enough, but nowadays, I mean, you can't even tell me if this is a level 2 hex or a level 3 hex, or is this, this is the edge of a hex here or not. Much easier in the new maps. You can, yeah, I mean, I can tell this is a hill right here. I can see this hill right there. Oop, zoom back in. I can see this is the edge of a hill right here. I can see this is a level 2 hill right there. I can see there's a hill right there. I mean, they're just easy. Uh, Much easier to ascertain what's going on the map. They look nicer. There's also map labels now. They didn't used to have map labels. You notice nothing on my map has got labels on it. That might be an option if you go to map. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it, guys. Hang on a second. Oh yeah, you go to locations and you can go to locations and it'll pop this up, and you can click on different things to go to those different locations. But when you close this window, they all go away. So nothing like stays on the map. So that's the way it used to be. Um, I mean, this is serviceable and it's okay. It's just not as clean and crisp as the new look. Let's see. Let's look at this one here. Zoom in a little bit better. Oh yeah. I mean, just that. I mean, if you just look at that and then I just pop mine up and you can see like a huge, huge difference. Just a massive difference. So, anyways, the Wargame Design Group has been working on updating all of the Panzer Campaign games with the new map. They're also adding new graphics, including all new terrain, new game counters, and 2D and 3D units, as well as toolbar icons. All new game sounds, which we're going to hear here in a little bit. And game enhancements include revise, disruption movement, and reinforcements place all function from the first World War I campaign series. Cards have been updated as well, much, much more detailed. Yes, so let's click on a unit here. You can see over here are the unit cards over here on the top left-hand side that basically gives you the information about the units. These have been all updated as well. You can see if we look at this one over here, you can see much better looking unit cards, and they look so good, so good. They just look amazing. I just don't know how to basically put it. I'm going to zoom in so you can see. Much better than, I mean, these looked okay, and I think actually, I should mention that I have got some modifications already installed on this. I believe I got new unit cards one of Volcano's mods for this series. So that's why mine look pretty good. But if you have just the base game from John Tiller, I don't think you have the fancy dancy cards that I actually have. I could be wrong, and I've updated a lot of the games from him from John Tiller. And if you go on and look, and this is nothing against John Tiller or his software or his game system or anything like that. In fact, I wouldn't be broadcasting and talking about it if I did enjoy it and like it and think it was an awesome thing. I wouldn't waste my time with it. I think it's great. Okay, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. I'm not trying to dish or put it down. I'm certainly not trying to do that. I'm just trying to show you what it was like and what it's going to be like. So just keep that in mind. Now I lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Shoot. Um, I can't remember what I was talking about. We're talking about the unit cards being updated. Oh yes, I was going to say, if you go and if you had purchased any of the games in the past, from John Tiller, and there's a lot of people out there, Volcano Man and others out there, different websites you can go to, and almost 90, I would say 80 to 90% of the files you can download are graphic updates for the system. And that's because everybody like myself kind of thought the same thing. John Tiller games are great. They just aren't up to specs with their interface and the way it looks. It's a great system, and all the attention to detail is great. All the different scenarios are great. It's just I want it to look better, and so as I mentioned, so the current projects Wargame Design Studio is working on is the Panzer Campaigns, updating them all to the updated, I would call it the Panzer Battle look. The Panzer Battles, if you've been on my channel recently, if you haven't, you can check out my previous episodes on the Panzer Battles. They look and play absolutely amazing. They look great. Um, uh, it's not super state of the art, but like I said, it doesn't need to be. It just needs to be good enough that it's pleasing to the eye, that you can actually see what's going on. So let's look at, since someone else had mentioned the other one, let's take a look at the other one here. So there's been two that have been released. It was my impression, or it was my thought, that they were going to update them all and then they were going to release the first 6 when they got those done, and then they were going to release the next 6 when they got those done. But looks like they changed their mind. It looks like they're going to release the first 2. So the first 2 are Seminsk 41 and Stalingrad 42. So let's go to check out Stalingrad 42. So again, if we go down here to the goal features, so this one's going to add an additional 44 scenarios from, again, Volcano Man, giving you a total of 86 scenarios. So I mean, scenarios range anywhere from an hour to 12 to 14 hours per scenario. So if you get 86 of these scenarios, you probably got over a minimum 100 hours worth of gameplay, which is exceptionally good bang for your buck when you compare that to a lot of the other games out there. Plus, you got a lot of replayability with these as well. Again, all new graphics, including terrain, game counters, 2D and 3D units, as well as the Yukon or the toolbar icons. All new sounds, and then the game enhancements to update them to the new game system. So all the rules are the same from system to system to system, which is super, super good, because once you learn any one of the games, they all use the same system. They're just a different scale. So you're going to be doing things at different time frames. You're gonna do the same things with them, the same keys, the same, if they get disrupted with one system, it happens. That happens in all of them, and the same penalties and everything work the same way. So once you learn one of the games, you basically learn the whole game. So you don't need to relearn things, which is awesome. Let's take a look at a couple of the screenshots here for Stalingrad. Couldn't remember the name of it. There's also in this one, there's actually a winter map as well. So we'll check out the winter map. Look at that. Now tell me that doesn't look better than this. I mean, compare. I mean, big difference. Crisp, clean look. Um, I love the ice look on this map as well. It's pretty cool. I like that actually. Let's see what else we have here. Let's look at this map. Or is that the one we just? Yeah, that's the one we were just looking at. Sorry. Let's try one of the other ones. Let's try this one. So here's kind of a more zoomed out look. But even though it's zoomed out, I can actually see what the heck is going on. I can see what the counters are. In some of the older versions of Panzer Campaigns, it's a little hard to see the counters and know what they are. But in this zoomed out mode, I can see that's an engineer unit right there, or that's an infantry unit, or here's an artillery unit, or let's see. Well, let's see if I can find any tank units. I haven't actually seen any tank units. This is mostly infantry, I guess. Engineers, artillery, headquarters. So even though I'm zoomed out, I can still see what's going on. So lots of great things coming along with this system. Oh, here's the 3D look. Here's the 3D look. We'll zoom in, and I'll change mine over to the 3D look. So there's mine in 3D, zoomed in. I mean, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not going to complain. Brad62 says, way too many counters to manage for me, and I like these games. Wow, too many counters. Well, I mean, depends on this. They've got simple, easy scenarios as well. So here's my 3D look, and we'll compare that to the look there. Just a big difference. Just a big difference. So I'm really, really happy the guys from War Game Design Studio are updating this because they're great. It's a great system, and it just needed some more eye candy, some more love on the actual interface look. So yeah, I mean, this is okay. There's nothing wrong with this. It's just not as easy or as pleasant to play as the new look, in my opinion, anyways. Let's see what else. I did want to show you guys something else. Nope, that's not the one. Let's see if I can find the right screenshot here. Might actually be in the other one. Let's go back to Skominsk here. And is this the one that had it? I think so. Yeah. So on this, you can see you can actually take the NATO counters and actually use the graphic. So this is an infantry, this is artillery. Do we have any vehicles? Yeah, here's vehicles over here. The Germans have got vehicles over here. Here's trucks, you can see that. Here's horses, and the different kinds of tanks they are. So you can actually play it without the NATO counters if you don't like the NATO counters. So patches are free. Yep, patches are free. Smaller scenarios, yes. Yep, much smaller scenarios as well. So, I mean, I can actually see here's a river, here's low country, here's a little hill here, here's another little hill here. So, it's just a little bit easier to play when you can see a little bit easier the counters. You can see the map. And the map's obviously a big part of the update is getting a map that is easy to see and read and understand compared to um, what we've been dealing with. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with what I have. It just makes it a little harder to play than it should be, I guess. And another really good thing about this is there's actually a demo that you can go and download, and we're going to be looking at that here in just a minute. But I thought I would bring it to everyone's attention. Just go to John Tiller Software on the front page. Just go to the demos page. There's demos for the Panzer battles, the Panzer Campaigns, the squad battles, and the Napoleonic battles. So you can get demos for every one of these games, which I've downloaded and got installed. So let's take a look at it. Let's see if I can find my icon here. Yeah, right there it is. Nope, and it loaded up. Shoot. I'm actually going to I'm going to move the icon over here so it loads up on this screen so you guys can actually see it. I think that might make it a little better. So the demo comes with getting started tutorial mission. Then it comes with mini campaign game. It's only 66 turns. And it looks like a alternate mission as well there. Oh, yeah, this is the alternate where it examines a hypothetical situation if whether the second Panzer SS division made it to the battle in time as opposed to getting having to go somewhere else. If they would have arrived in time, you can try this as like a hypothetical battle, but we'll just load up the small little tutorial session here. I'm just going to leave everything on manual just to show you guys. And we'll actually zoom in on the map. Oop, hopefully, there we go. So this is what it would look like live and in person. Hopefully it's coming out for you guys okay. You can see this is just an introductory. There's only 9 turns on this. Still lots of counters. And it looks like the Soviets are going to be attacking this mission because the victory point counters are so much easier to see now. That's one thing we did mention in the other one was they used to have just the box here, and sometimes if there was a counter on the box, you could hardly ever find where the victory points were. Here now you got a nice big flag that says, "Hey, look at me, look at me." It actually shows you who owns the possession of it. You can hear the sounds in the background, hopefully, a little bit at least. I'm just going to leave those background sounds on this time because the sounds are a big difference. Yep, much better, says Tony. Yes, I agree, totally much better. Even the mine counters. If you looked at the old one, again, I don't know if I can load both up at the same time. It'll freak out my computer or what. But if we look at just, let's see if we can pull up a map or pull up a scenario that has some of the mine counters on them. See if I can find a hex. Yeah, so here's the old Panzer Campaign victory point counter. Is this like a little circle and it had a number in it? And you can see sometimes, since there's a unit on there, you really can't, see it that well. Now, this scenario isn't that bad because it's got a yellow background, so they kind of stand out a little bit more. But yeah, you zoom out on the map, it's like, okay, where are the victory point counters? Can any one of you tell me where the victory point counters are on this map from when I'm zoomed out? There's no way. So that's what I was talking about, functionality. Just better functionality in the game. I don't necessarily have to have, like I said, state-of-the-art graphics. I just have to have it functionally playable. And even when I'm mid-level zoomed out, it's kind of hard to see where the victory point counters are. So, and the mines, yeah, this was the old mines here. Let's not zoom in that far. There's just these kind of generic little things with a little 1 in the corner, or a 2 or a 3, depending on the level of the mines. So I'm just going to exit back out of that. And you can see the much better because they don't take up like a full hex. Just just to show you there's mines there. So easily you can see the maps a little bit easier. You see the contours, the height advantage of the different counters as well. So that's just the intro scenario. Let's show you the mini campaign. That's 66. So this is going to be the Minas River area north of Rostov, part of the southern flank there. No, we don't need to save that. Thank you. All right, so here we go. Again, nice look. We can zoom out. Oops, you can see zoomed out. There's the map. Lots and lots of counters, and this is a demo, remember? So I think if you hit the space bar, it will bring it up. Yep, and let's look at switching it over mode. We're going to go to view, and then we're going to go to where is it? It's graphic unit icons. So there we go. So now we got the graphic unit icons on there. So I can see, oh, there's some infantry. This is going to be an engineer. This is going to be artillery. This is cavalry, obviously. Here's a tank here. Oh, look, it's the same tank that's got a little picture on there. So, yeah, I mean, depending on whether you like the NATO counters or not. Let's see. Graphical unit icons. Yeah, we'll take these back to NATO there, just so you guys can see the difference. Pretty cool. I like that as well. If we go to 3D units, I think there are some options for those as well. Unit bases off. No. Unit. Trying to remember because it's been a while since I used any of the 3D counters. Yeah, I like the look of that. That's pretty good. I like that. So it's basically a pretty cool looking 3D counter, and it actually the game actually acts differently in this mode as well. So we're actually gonna come over here and try to do an attack, so this way you guys can maybe hear some of the sound effects. Maximum range exceeded by 1 hex. I was just hoping to move a couple units. Not enough moving points to fire. Of course they don't. Let's see. Just gonna try and move some units in to see if I can. Yeah, the 3Ds. I don't usually play in the 3D mode. It's the 3D. Oh man, there's a lot of counterattacks coming in off of that one shot. Jesus. Hopefully you guys can hear them. I got the sound turned way down, so I don't know if you guys can actually hear the sound effects. Let me know if you can. Alright, let's move this guy up. Yep, you're clearing lines, so we don't need you. Let's see. Can we shoot? Nope, doesn't have enough movement points. Gotta move everyone up first. I'm not trying to play ultimate. Let's go back to, you can actually get rid of the 3D counters and actually play with just the, I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you can actually do it that way if you wanted to. Let's go back zoomed in a little bit. There we go. Let's see if we got anybody that's here. We got some guys that are adjacent. We should be able to fire at these guys. Brad says it hurts his eyes. So yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear the graphic or the sounds, but they've all the attacking sounds are actually much better than they were in the old game. I think the background sound, the little echoing fire and stuff is the same as it used to be, but all of this let's try an artillery and see if we can. Oops, let's. Brad62 says nice they changed that sound up. I totally agree. Totally. Let's try another. Much cooler sound. Let's see. Can I get you to do something? Nope. All right. Let's see. Let's just bring up the artillery dialogue box. Oh, we got plenty of units here. Trying to zoom into medium. There we go. Okay, so can we attack this guy? Nope. Alright, let's try this guy. There we go. Alright. So there's the unit. It's blinking in red. The units that it can actually spot are outlined in yellow. You'll see a little bit better when I zoom in. But you can still see it in the medium level. And let's go out to the... can I zoom? I can't zoom in this with this box open. We'll zoom in. There we go. Alright, now we'll bring up the artillery dialogue box. There we go. There we go. Now you guys can probably see a little bit better. So here's the unit that I've got selected. Here's the units that can be spotted. So let's take a shot at somebody. Let's go after the guns. I like that little delay too. It's like boom boom, and then you feel like the bullet or the shells are going through the air, and then boosh. Let's try another shot. Oh yay, we disrupted that unit. That's good for us. Right, here we go. Here's a mortar guy. Let's see. Let's go for this guy. Oh, I hope I didn't actually interrupt that sound effect for the mortar, but you can actually hear him dropping the shell into the mortar. Let's try again. This time I'll be quiet. Oh, that time we didn't do it. Let's go to another mortar. Let's see. Here's another mortar. Let's just see if they'll do the sound effect this time. That sounded more like a rocket there. Oh, yeah, because it looks like it's definitely some kind of a rocket on the back of a truck here. It's 132 millimeter MRL M13 to be exact, for you experts out there. Alright, let's see, another mortar here. Let's see if we can get that mortar sound to come back. Oh, hey, we disrupted a guy. Oh, here was a perfect sound effect. Did you hear that? So, sound effects are so good. There's a mortar. Let's see, where's this guy? Here he is, down here. Just playing some of the different sound effects for you guys. Let's see, artillery regiment. Let's see. See if this guy can. Yeah, he can spot people. Alright, how about gun artillery? Let's try these guys. Sure. Let's go. Alright, now we got a howitzer. Let's see how the howitzer sounds. And the mortar again. Yeah, this is this 132 millimeter MRL M13. I'm not even sure what that unit is. It looks like it's a mortar regiment RKT from the 51st Guards Unit. Now, that might be something I'd have to look up. Yeah, the sound effects, I agree, Brad. The sound effects are awesome. We'll go off the artillery for a minute. We'll just listen to let's see here. Do we have anybody here? Some guys that are no. I'll move these guys up. Move these guys up. Move these guys up. I'm trying to find somebody that's adjacent, so we can just shoot at somebody, just so you guys can hear. It took all the movement points to go into that hex because it's got a mine there. I was hoping to find a. Here's some guys. I already shot with these guys. Damn it. You know what? Here's what we can do. I'll load up the first scenario. Because we got guys standing right next to one another here. Alright, so let's listen to some of these sound effects. Let's just look at the rifle here. Yeah, that sounded like a machine gun shooting back, didn't it? Oh wow, I got 4 guys disrupted. Or four guys dead in disruption. This sounds like a machine gun unit. It is a AUFK. It's part of the Shinoa 338 Division, 336 Infantry Division. I'm not sure what that unit is, but it sounded like a machine gun. Oops. Oh, we got an assault. Let's see what the assault sounds like. Yeah, pretty. I agree. It's pretty decent. I mean, you get a lot for a free demo. I mean, if you wanted to try this system out for yourselves, it's not going to hurt you anything to download it and try it out. Let's select just you. Oh, another unit disrupted. Oh, well, all my guys are disrupted. Oh, that was pretty piss poor. Let's take the engineer unit. Yep, not enough movement points. Alright, so I can't really show you much of that sound effects. Let's see, what was I... Let's look at this scenario. You think you heard a shell eject on that last artillery shot. I think I did too, actually. It sounded like the canister falling out of the back end of it, didn't it? That's what it sounded like to me. What I might do is actually turn off the background sound because you guys can probably hear this a lot better now. Should have thought of that earlier. Sorry, guys. Let's listen now. You hear the bullets like whizzing by and stuff. I mean, it's just a little attention to detail that I like. Well, let's listen to a couple of the artilleries now that I've got the background sound off. Hopefully you guys heard it that time. I definitely heard the mortar like going into the canister there. Unique counters have no number ratings. I just think it sounds so much better than it did before. Let's actually move these. Let's just close that box out. Let's just move. Let's see if we can take a shot with these guys. Not enough movement points left. All right. Let's do this then. Let's put these guys in travel mode. Oh yeah, they updated the icons as well up here at the top. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, but nope, I still don't have enough movement points. Must take all their movement points to move into a mine hex, unfortunately. So I'd have to spend a turn moving them all up. These games really exercise your imagination. My son teases me for playing them and insists they were coded in the 1940s. Yep, us wargamers, we understand that. That's definitely the view that some people look at this. But I mean, when I look at this, I see a very playable, enjoyable game that I can see what's going on and um, be able to play it zoomed in, really tight, or zoomed out. I can still see what's going on. Let's look at some of the other options to see if there's anything else I'm missing. Of course, if you're just joining us, we did look at this earlier, but here's what they're calling the graphic unit icons. So these are the graphic unit icons. So the same picture that's over here on their unit card is over here on their counter. So I know that this is going to be a what is this, a Panzer Grenadier unit, and I know this guy is going to be an engineer or sapper in this case, and the other guy is a rifle. These guys are rifle. These guys are going to be engineers. Obviously, artillery, different kinds of artillery. This is AA artillery. But basically took this picture and put it on the counter. So again, if you're looking for a star, I bet you are those headquarters. Yeah, headquarters are the stars. Pretty standard stuff if you're into wargaming at all. Here's all your different vehicles back here. Here's your T-34s. We got some infantry loaded up in trucks. This looks like a motorcycle unit. What else do we have here? Here's your main headquarter unit there. You can turn off, let's see, you can turn off the hex outlines. I think that might even be better to actually have these off. Let's see if I can get to the medium zoom level. So let's zoom up to an area where we can see a lot of counters. Okay, here we go. So if I go to settings, hex outlines. That's with them on. And again, this is with them off. I think I actually like them with them off, actually. The hills stand out a little bit better that way. What do you guys think? Brad62 says, awesome alternative for the counters. I totally agree. I like this look. Actually, this is when I went to the John Tiller and I was looking at the Seminsk products page and I was trying to decide, should I get this? And then I saw that screenshot that had the unit counters on there. I was like, okay, that's it. It's a done deal. I'm gonna have to buy it now because now I gotta see it. I gotta have it in my hands now. And yeah, it looks totally awesome. I don't mind the NATO counters. I don't mind them. A lot of people hate them, but I don't mind them. I can play either way. Let's turn off the hill hex sides and see if that's map contours. So I'm going to turn off the map contours. Well, that's actually, I thought that was going to be a problem, but actually with them turned off, I can still see where the edge of the hexes are. That's awesome. Let's turn them back on and off a couple times so you guys can map contours. Are you ready? Here we go. Yeah, see, to me that looks too busy. What do you guys think of that? Turn the map contours off. Tony says he just bought Stalingrad. Awesome, Tony. Very good. You have Kharkov. Can you get this for that game? Audie says it's too cluttered. I agree. I totally agree. But you know what? Even with the contours turned off, with the contours turned off, I can still see the map. I can see where the hills are. Can you? I mean, can you guys see where the hills are? Like I can see like this X, X, X. These hexes right here are like on the top of a hill, and then the next level hill is here, and then this is a lower level hill here, a lower level hill here, and then a lower level here, and then this is like the valley down here. Can you guys see that clearly, or is that maybe if I zoomed in one more notch, maybe you can see. See, it's almost easier to see the contours zoomed out because you have more context. Brad62 says it's a beautiful map. More subtle contour. Yes, I totally agree. So I think I would play with the map contours off because I think, like Audie said, it's just too busy in this mode. It's very distracting. And even in the middle mode and the zoomed in mode, I think it's just too distracting. I would probably play with those off because I can still see the contours and the different colors. That's the other thing. I mean, it's all color coded, different height. So you can tell that the red over here is high, and then you got the bright orange, and then it goes to peach, and then it goes to yellow, and it goes down into green, and down at the river is blue. So you can, I mean, right here you can see that this is like the low part. This is a little bit higher, this is a little bit higher, this is a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher, and then obviously up here is the top. I mean, I can see that. Can you guys see that okay? I mean, with the different colors, especially when you zoom out. Love the map. I mean, really good. Somebody had asked earlier, I apologize, I might have missed it. Somebody had asked if they could get this for Kharkov. Yeah, Kharkov. The only two, here's, since you might have missed it in the beginning, they are completely redoing all the Panzer Campaign games with this new format, with the new graphics, with the new maps, the new scenarios, and everything. And they've the let's see, go to resources. It's the War Game Design Studio. Sorry, War Game Design Studio is the folks that are doing it, and they are in the process of redoing all the different Panzer Campaign games. The only two they've released so far is Smolensk and Stalingrad. So I would definitely jump on these titles for sure. I'm going to be picking them up myself, so no problem with that. I'm going to be getting them right away here, probably as soon as the holiday season. I might even pick them up like tomorrow. Who knows? So Smolensk and Stalingrad. I think what they're doing is they're working on all of the East Front's scenarios first. If we go into Panzer Campaigns, we go to East Front. I think they're redoing all the East Front first. I don't know what order they're doing them in. Don't ask me that. I have no idea. But they did Stalingrad and they did the Smolensk. And then they'll finish up the East Front. The reason they're doing that is because I read an article, I think it was on the War Game Design Studio webpage. The reason they're doing that is a lot of the assets are the same. The Soviets counters they can use for all of the Soviet games. All of the German counters they can use for that East Front game. The map contours and everything are very similar. They don't have hedgerows and that. So they're working on all the East Front first. They're gonna do all those, then they're gonna release all the West Front and then all the Mediterranean. So it was my impression that they were gonna do 6 and then release 6, and then do the next 6 and release those 6. But looks like they've now decided just to release the ones they've got done. So good for us. So we don't have to wait anymore. So yeah, Stalingrad and Skaminsk actually was released. These were just released 3 days ago on the 18th, I believe they were released, December 18th. So yeah, definitely if you guys are interested, show some support and show them some love. Leave some comments and messages to them as well. Tell them what you think of their new look. If you go to their website, I think you can actually go there. Down at the bottom here somewhere, down here somewhere, people are leaving comments. Beautiful, beautiful job. Wow, glad to see the new update, etc., etc., etc. So, yep, there it is. Looks, yeah, I mean, just much more easier to play because you can see what's going on. Daniel Cohen, how are you? Glad to have you on board. On top of everything, John Tiller's supports, in my opinion, is fantastic. I bought all the old HPC versions. Yeah. So Daniel mentioned something very important when you're dealing with a company, and like if you're anything like me, you're probably going, "Damn, there's a lot of games I would like to get there, right?" There's, when we're talking, you got your Panzer battles. I, highly recommend Normandy and Battle for Kursk. These are my number one and number two. Just because of the scale, I like this scale a little bit better than I like the Panzer campaigns. But I mean, I want Moscow, I want Stalingrad, I want Kursk, I want Skominsk, I want Kharkov, and that's just on the east front. On the west front, France, Market Garden, Bolts, Normandy, I want all them. I don't know about Sea Line. I may or may not want that, but so when you're dealing with a company and you want like, oh my God, 20 games or whatever, having a game company that like, hey, supports you and doesn't try to screw you over is ultra ultra important. And just to give you guys a story, I had bought all these John Tiller games years ago, 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, whatever it was. It's been a while. And I installed and I played them a little bit, but I was like, oh man, I can't handle these graphics. And I uninstalled them and, kind of forgot about them and just didn't use them, didn't play with them. And then a while ago, I decided, oh, you know what? I should give those games another try since they got the new Panzer battles out. They look pretty good. Maybe I should try some of these old games again. So I started reinstalling all my old games. And then I was like, damn, I don't have the files. Where'd all my files go? So I emailed them and I was like, here's my name and my email address, and I'd ordered these games years ago, and I don't have the files anymore. I know I bought them and blah blah blah. And they had pulled up my account or whatever and found out what games I had, and they shipped them to me. They sent an email back with download links, and I was like, holy shit! I thought they were gonna be like charging me for them again or something. But so I was like, okay, I can handle this. A company that's like, hey, you bought this, we're going to support you, we're going to send you the links, no problem, no questions asked, no nothing. Brad62 says, wish they would upgrade the squad battle series. Yes, my number one complaint of John Tiller Software, my number one complaint is their squad battle games are the oldest of the old, and they need the most love. I don't want them to update them. I want them to completely redo them because they're just at a point where they're so old and they look so bad that, I mean, look at that. Uh, I don't even know if a graphic interface and a new map and new counters I mean, basically at that point, if you're going to do a new map and you're going to do new counters and new scenarios, and a new interface, you pretty much got a new game anyways, right? Yeah, the old squad battle games are just so old nowadays. You just they look so. I mean, there's the old victory point markers, the 3D counters with their little 3D bases. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Oh my God, look at that snow. It's like, it hurts my eyes. I think Brad said earlier it was hurting his eyes, but yeah. So that's my number one complaint is they just haven't given the squad battles a lot of love in a lot of years. So I mean, they can only do so much. They're not a big company. There's not hundreds and thousands of people working there, so they can only do so much, right? So I'm glad they're bringing back the Panzer campaigns, and I'm glad they're doing something to make them look better and playable. So that's a good start. And they got us Panzer battles, so it's good. Free demos for you guys to try out. The Panzer let's actually load that up for you guys. I know we were looking at Panzer campaigns today, but they actually have the Panzer. I might need to minimize this in a minute. Where's my Panzer? I can do it this way. They have the same thing for Panzer battles demo. There we go. Demo start. Look at all these scenarios you get in the demo. Look at that. What's there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, about 18 scenarios in a demo. And we're not talking about 1 or 2 turns. We're talking, 21 turns, 16 turns, 20 turns, 32 turns. Here's the getting started easy one, 10 turns. And let's just load up one of these bad boys and take a look at it. Look at that. Tell me that doesn't look good, huh? Here's zoomed in, and then here's medium level, and then here's zoomed out. Look at this map. Holy crap. It's huge. Huge. Huge and awesome. That's what I have to say about that. Huge and awesome. So, I mean, if you guys haven't played Panzer Battles, I would highly recommend you download the demo. You can go to the same John Tiller Software's, download the demo, give it a whirl. There's a ton of scenarios to try out. Different, and we're not just talking about the same map over and over again either. There's one from 1941. Here's one from 42. Here's one from 43. Let's take a look at this one. This one looks like it could be part of the same map. Let's see if it's got let's try another one and see if we can find one that's on a different part of the map. It's just the counters. I guess I should read. Yeah. It's just the counters. I got it. Let's see if this is. Oh, somebody's asking earlier. I don't like to play with lots of counters, or there's too many counters for me. Well, here's a scenario that's got what? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 counters on one side. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Like 23 counters and 13 counters. So, I mean, and look, this is as big as the map is, so you don't have to worry about all that other stuff. So, yeah, so Panzer Battles, Panzer Campaigns, very similar. Definitely try them, download them. Let me know what you think next time we get together. I would love to hear from you guys, and let me know what you guys think of if you've tried the demos, if you've downloaded them, if you tried them, uh, and if you played any of the campaign games, what you thought of them. If you like the new look, kind of give me your little, you know, give me a review of what you guys think of them. All right, guys, I'm going to be heading out here. I appreciate everyone that stopped out tonight to say hi. Brad62, thanks for coming by. Daniel, Audie Murphy, thanks for coming out. Tony, of course, my good friend Tony. Good to see you out there tonight, too, as well. Anybody else I missed, I apologize. But thanks everyone for joining me tonight for just a quick look at the Panzer Campaign game. Hopefully you guys learned some good stuff and are interested in checking it out. We'll be bringing you guys some more very soon. And if I don't see you guys before the holidays, I hope everyone has a great Christmas. Happy holidays to you and your families. Hope everyone has a safe, and we can reconvene at a later date. And thank everyone for stopping out tonight. So God bless you to all of you. Stay safe. See you guys soon. I do appreciate you guys spending your time with me. Next time we're actually going to get in and we're going to try a couple battles. I just wanted to bring you a little bit of the Panzer Campaigns because I know there was some people in the last live stream asking about it. They didn't have any information, so I kind of want to show you guys some of this. So next time we'll get into an actual fight, and hopefully you'll join us for that. So everyone have a great evening. We'll see you guys soon. Take care. God bless. Happy holidays, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.